Microbes in sewage treatment. This topic is taken from the chapter of microbes in human welfare. Okay, so large quantities of wastewater are generated. We know that large quantities of wastewater will be generated every day in cities as well as in the towns. So this wastewater is very harmful as it creates lot of pollution and which is very dangerous. So sewage basically consists of human excreta. It may also contain many microbes which may be pathogenic also. So sewage, a major component of the wastewater is human excreta and also contains large amount of organic matter as well as microbes. Okay, they may also contain many microbes which are pathogenics. Pathogenic means they cause diseases in organisms. So they are very dangerous. Sewage disposal is a huge problem. It cannot be directly disposed into rivers and streams. Hence, it has to be treated first in a sewage treatment plants (STPs). So, this disposal of sewage means the throwing of sewage is the most important huge problem because you cannot throw it in the rivers as well as in the streams because as it creates the pollution in the atmosphere as well as in the rivers, pollution in rivers which is very dangerous as well as causes diseases in the human beings. So you cannot directly dispose it into the rivers and streams. So first it must be treated with the sewage treatment plants which is very necessary. The heterotrophic microbes present in the sewage itself aid in its treatment. Heterotrophic microbes have many practical uses which deals with the other type of the contaminants. So these heterotrophic microbes which are present in the sewage will help in the aid in its treatment. Treatment of wastewater is done by the heterotrophic microbes as I said now. So this treatment is mainly of two stages, that is primary treatment and secondary treatment. Now we will deal with the primary treatment. So here treatment of sewage includes two stages, primary treatment and secondary treatment. We will understand about primary treatment. After this we will understand how the secondary treatment takes place. Involves physical removal of particles by filtration and sedimentation. So in the primary treatment it mainly involves the physical removal of particles by filtration and sedimentation. In the primary treatment two important process takes place, that is filtration and sedimentation. We will understand this. So initially sequential filtration is used to remove the floating debris. So first of all what happens, the filtration takes place, filter takes place for the removing of broken glasses, any rubbish particles present there. Okay, like example is broken glass, you can take it. Then grit, soil plus small pebbles are removed by sedimentation. Okay, how the sedimentation takes place? Here the particularly stone or sand is known as grit. Soil, small pebbles are removed by the process of sedimentation. In the sedimentation process, particles settle down or get deposited. So solids that settle down form the sludge while the supernatant forms the effluent. Common example of sludge is mud. As we all know, the mud cannot flow over the water. Obviously mud will settle down. The solid which will settle down is known as sludge. Okay, while the supernatant forms the effluent, means the liquid waste will form the effluent. The liquid which lies above the solid, which often forms the precipitate after, is the liquid waste which is known as effluent. This effluent is taken for the secondary treatment. Effluent is passed to the aeration tank where it is constant agitation and air is pumped, which allows the vigorous growth of bacteria into the flock formation and consumption of organic matter by bacteria, which decreases the BOD. BOD is known as biochemical oxygen demand. Okay, here what happens in the secondary treatment, effluent is taken to the secondary treatment. In this treatment, large aeration tanks containing the primary effluent are constantly agitated, means continuously mixed with a continuous supply of air. Okay, here what happens then? The aerobic microbes grow vigorously. They grow vigorously, which consumes the major part of the organic effluent, and this will reduce as the BOD. Simple. So explain once more the secondary treatment for those who have not understand this process. What happens in this treatment? Large aeration tanks, which mainly consist of the primary effluent, are constantly agitated with a continuous supply of the air. Okay, then what happens when the continuous supply of air is given? The aerobic microbes grow vigorously, which will consume the major part of the bacteria. After consuming the major part of the bacteria, this will directly reduces the BOD. What is BOD? Biological oxygen demand of the effluent. Very simple. Then BOD is the amount of oxygen required by the bacteria to oxidize all the organic matter present in the effluent. So consumption of organic matter by bacteria takes place. Now what is this BOD? BOD is how much oxygen is required by this bacteria to consume this organic matter. Simple. Okay, then naturally, if organic matter decreases, BOD decreases. Then pollution also decreases. Very simple. If organic matter decreases, then decrease in BOD takes place. As the consumption of organic matter by bacteria will decrease, BOD will also decrease. So why we are decreasing? Why we are decreasing this? Mainly to reduce the pollution. Pollution also decreases directly. Flock is equal to bacteria plus fungal elements. You all know what is flock. Flock is a bacteria as well as some fungal elements. Then the main topic starts here. When BOD, that is biological oxygen demand, and hence pollution is reduced. So we know that organic matter decreases, BOD also decreases, and pollution also decreases. Then effluent is passed into a settling tank. Here flock settle down and it is known as activated sludge. So the sewage is then passed into the settling tank where bacteria will settle down and it is known as activated sludge. Back to the aeration tank where it acts as a flock for the next cycle. So now what happens? Some of the activated sludge is again passed into the aeration tank to serve it as an inoculum or the starter. Okay, this is what happens. Then what happens? Remaining part is pumped into the anaerobic sludge digesters. Okay, none of the part will enter into the large tank called as anaerobic sludge digester. Simple. Anaerobic sludge digesters, anaerobic bacteria act on the activated sludge to produce biogas CH4, CO2, H2S. So what happens here? Anaerobic bacteria grow to produce the mixture of gases such as methane, hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide to form the biogas. This effluent can then be released into the natural water bodies. So this effluent is now pollution free and it can be transferred into the natural water bodies. Quick recap of the secondary treatment. Now whatever I have explained, I will explain within the minutes. So listen this carefully so that you can understand secondary treatment easily. Secondary treatment, large aeration tank which consist of the effluent are constantly agitated. Okay, constantly agitation with a continuous supply of air. So then what happens? Aerobic microbes will grow vigorously, which will consume the major part of the effluent by reducing the BOD. What is BOD? BOD is a biological oxygen demand. So then what happens? Then the sewage is passed to the settling tank where the bacteria settle down and it is mainly known as activated sludge. Okay, activated sludge. Then what happens? The sum of the activated sludge is again passed into the aeration tank to mainly serve as a starter. Okay, starter base, inoculum, while rest of it enters into a large tank called as anaerobic sludge digesters. Okay, this is the structure of anaerobic sludge digesters. I have not shown you earlier. Okay, here anaerobic bacteria grow to produce the mixture of gases such as methane, CH4, hydrogen sulfide, H2S, carbon dioxide, CO2, mainly to form the biogas. This effluent can be released into the natural water bodies as it is pollution free now. Important thing to note is that Ministry of Environment and Forest has initiated Ganga action plan as well as Yamuna action plan to save these major rivers of our country from the pollution. So okay, under this plans, it is proposed to build a large number of sewage treatment plants so that only treated sewage may be discharged in the rivers. Okay.